You know that girlfriend you have that looks 20 years younger than she is, and everybody's always shocked to find out? Well, she knows something about her hair that most women don't. But by the end of this video, you're gonna know too. All right, I've been a professional hairstylist for over 30 years, and I've had thousands of clients sit in my chair. And in that time, I've learned that there are some very common things that women over 50 do with their hair that they don't even realize is aging them faster. And when I explain it to them, they're shocked. Okay, now, to be honest with you, most of the mistakes that I'm about to share are gonna make complete sense to you, okay? You're gonna nod your head and you're gonna think, well, of course. But, this is a big but, there is one on this list that I have mentioned in a video years ago, and the comments went absolutely sideways. No, why? Well, it's because it kind of goes against something that feels deeply personal to people. But I'm still going to say it because after 30 years, I know what I know. And this isn't an opinion. It's the fact about the way that hair works, period. The first mistake that we're going to talk about is the tight hair trend. Okay, now, I actually just mentioned this last week in a video because it's very much a trend now. But I think there's some things that you need to be aware about regarding it. Let me ask you something. Have you ever finished your hair? Yeah, I mean, it looks polished, it looks controlled, but something still feels a little bit off, like not quite right. Here's what might be happening. As we age, the face naturally loses lift, okay? Gravity does its thing. Now, pulling your hair back into a tight ponytail or style is a super big trend right now, like I mentioned, but flat, compressed hair emphasizes facial sagging. See, it makes the lower face look heavier than it actually is, and it relies on head shape kind of to do all of the heavy lifting. On top of that, if you've got any insecurities around facial asymmetry, having your hair pulled back tight is going to take any ability away to hide that. The bottom line is this. When we're talking about looking more youthful, we're talking about control. We need to control where the eye gets focused when someone looks at us. And the way we do that is through creating volume in certain areas and removing volume from other areas. But when your hair is pulled back super tight against your head, there's no volume to create that control. Now, of course, some people are going to argue that, a tight ponytail actually does a really good job of kind of lifting the face. It pulls the face back. It's almost like a mini facelift. And that's actually true, but it only pulls actually the face back up around the eyes and the cheekbones, which is great, but that doesn't help any concern down around the chin or the neck. And oftentimes, that's one of the most common places of insecurity. So for me, I just kind of say, stay away from super tight stuff. It just generally doesn't really help us. But at the same time, it can look great. So it's going to be your call. Quick sidestep. If you're getting any value out of this, do me a huge favor and hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. That would be huge. Or if you actually know anyone else that you think could benefit from this and you really want to support the channel, do me a massive favor and share it with them. Hit the share button. That's a big one. So do that immediately. And then if you really want to support the channel, do something I've never told you to do before. Watch another video of mine after this. That is the key, folks. No one talks about that, but it's true. Back to the video. Okay, this next one I want to spend a little extra time on because here's the misconception. See, there was a study published by the National Library of Medicine, and I've actually referenced this before, and they found that air drying actually caused more damage to the cell membrane complex of the hair than blow drying at a controlled distance with continuous motion. They found that the long wet stage is as harmful, and in some cases even more harmful, than controlled heat. So this idea that skipping the blow dry is always the safe choice, well, that's not necessarily the full picture. But there's actually a lot more going on here. And see, this is why frizz specifically actually ages you faster. This is all going to come together. Watch. So when the cuticle stays lifted and uneven, hair reflects light inconsistently. So fibers separate and expand irregularly, and the eye reads this rough texture as damage. Whereas smooth hair reflects light more evenly, and that even light reflection is what makes hair look healthy and youthful. See, the fact is that as we age, our texture changes, and those changes often present as frizz, dryness, or overall damage. So the subconscious thought is that frizz and dryness and damage equal older. So everything that we do needs to kind of combat that so that we can get our subconscious to look at our hair and feel like, oh, this all looks more youthful. Does that make sense? Like, I was trying to bring that together. Did it work? I know. So I teach my clients some simple fixes that I've shown numerous times in different videos. For instance, I teach them to use concentrator nozzles on the end of their blow dryer so they can control airflow better when they're drying their hair. It allows them an easier way to direct the airflow down the hair shaft, or if you're not, you shouldn't be directing it at the hair at all, right? But when you direct it down the hair shaft, you're gonna help smooth the cuticle first. Then we can create movement after the hair has already been smoothed out and blow dried. See, this is actually where the tool that you're using matters more than most people realize. What you want to do is you want to use a blow dryer that has high pressure and low heat, which means that you're drying faster with less heat stacking, i.e. less potential damage. For me, I personally recommend the Life and Swift for that exact reason. I talk about it all the time. You can find links in the description and the pinned comment. But the key takeaway is to understand that frizz and damage and dryness tend to read to us subconsciously as old. And when we pay more attention to the way that we smooth down the cuticle, all of those things are gonna help us perceive it as looking more youthful, and that's gonna give us a more youthful look. Did that all bring it together? I hope that all brought it together, because I feel like it did. Did it? I feel like it did. Moving on. Here we are. Buckle up, because here we go. Look, I want to handle this one carefully, all right? Because I already know what's coming in the comments. This is so dramatic, and it really isn't. So hopefully you'll understand this by the time we're done here. Actually, you know what? Joseph, do me a favor and actually throw some of the comments on the screen here and leave them up for long enough for people to actually read them. Because this is what people say when I talk about this. Enjoy. Here's the mistake. You've got long hair and you have no layers. It's all one length. I told you it was serious. Look, this is not about cutting your hair, okay? So let's just put that off the table right now. This is not about length at all, actually. This is all about the way that hair works. You'll understand in a second. So here's what happens when hair is left as one heavy, solid shape with no internal structure whatsoever. The weight pulls everything downward. Okay, there's no internal movement, no lift truly can be created really anywhere. Now here's the thing, as we age, gravity does what gravity does. Now the problem is, one length hair, it visually pulls the eye down the face. It removes volume from the crown and the cheekbone area, and it leaves this really heavy perimeter weight that can actually emphasize jowls, neck softness, or just facial heaviness in general. These very things are typically what women want to minimize the most. Now, earlier in the video, I mentioned that if we are focused on looking more youthful, then we must focus on where volume sits in hairstyles. This isn't a way, this is the only way that we can control how a hairstyle affects our face shape and our features. Okay, the fact is that one length hair simply doesn't have the ability to create volume wherever we want it to. We're limited by the length and the heaviness of that hair. And as the length gets longer, the hair naturally gets heavier and it becomes more and more limiting. Does that make sense? Like, this isn't my opinion. This is just simply the facts of the way hair works. So heads up, if you're about to jump down to the comments and start playing the armchair warrior, just know that what you're doing is, it's kind of like saying that I painted a car red and you're yelling at me that it's not red, it's actually blue, just because you don't like the color red. Like, you can say it's blue, but it's still red. You get that right? That's all I can say, man. I really feel like I gotta go to war here a little bit. Look, the fear of layers almost always comes from a bad experience, and I get it, okay? Someone got overlayered once, their hair looked way too thin or it looked choppy, and you just, swore it off forever. But the solution here is not no layers, okay? The solution is the right kind of layers. We need soft, We need the layers to be strategic. We need to be cognizant of the fact that layers aren't the enemy. The way that we layer is the enemy. We need movement created around the cheekbones and the crown so that we can create volume in the areas that will actually lift the face and accentuate bone structure. We need weight to be able to be removed from the areas that drag the face down. You think of it less like cutting layers and more like kind of like an architectural support in a way for your style. You're not removing hair. You're redirecting where the weight lives so that it works better for your face shape instead of working against your face shape. There we go. Okay. Long hair can absolutely look youthful. Okay. It looks amazing on some people. And if you feel great in it, then that's what you need to do. Period. All right. But just know this. If you are focused on looking more youthful, or accentuating specific features or hiding specific features of your face, you don't want layers, you need layers. Okay, the next mistake is ignoring contrast when it comes to color. All right, now this one's subtle, but once you see it, you kind of can't unsee it. As we age, our skin tone changes. The warmth or the coolness of our complexion kind of evolves. But most women are still wearing the same color or the same type of color that they had 10 or 15 years ago. And they don't realize that the relationship between that color and their skin tone has completely changed. When hair color no longer harmonizes with your skin tone, the contrast becomes way too either harsh or too washed out. Now, if it's too harsh, it's going to emphasize redness, like the dark circles, right? Your skin texture. It's just going to be, well, too hard. But if it's too washed out, then everything just kind of disappears, right? There's no definition. There's no life. There's no frame to your face. Now, I'm sure that you've seen, right, those people that have the most amazing white hair that's absolutely a beautiful color. But at the same time, it's kind of hard to tell like where their forehead stops and their hair begins, because it's all very similar in tone. And when that happens, it tends to kind of rob the warmth from the skin, and it actually washes them out even more, even though the color is really stunning by itself. So one way we actually address that in the salon is that we would actually do one all over color, and then we do a bunch of highlights. So for instance, even if you want your hair to be blonde, your all over color, or what we call your base color, would be a little bit darker. And then we just add a bunch of highlights all over. So what you would end up with is that you're still feeling blonde. You still have technically blonde hair, but right around your hairline and at your roots, the hair is just a little bit darker. And the reason for that is because it actually contrasts your skin a little bit, and it's going to add a lot more depth and more richness to your skin tone, which is actually going to make you feel and look a lot more youthful because the color is working for you rather than it's working against you. This is one of my favorite ways to really add richness to skin. At the end of the day, this is something that your hairstylist should be paying attention to. Over time, they should be recognizing that potentially your hair or your skin tone has shifted and there might need to be a change. But if they're not, it's definitely something that you need to bring up to them. Okay, the next mistake is dull hair. See, dull hair reads as damaged. Okay. And that's just how the eye processes it. It's because healthy, youthful hair reflects light in a controlled, even way. We talked about just a minute ago. And as we age, the cuticle naturally becomes a little bit rougher and it reflects light less. Gray hair especially tends to be more porous, which means that it also actually absorbs light versus bouncing it back as much. Like I noticed even mine is much less shiny on its own. Now, I do hear this all the time, right? I don't want my hair to look too greasy. That's a big reason why a lot of people don't use products. And I totally actually get that. It really makes sense. So let me say this, and I want you to hear it very clearly. Shiny hair and greasy hair are not the same thing. They're not even close. Greasy hair is way down, separated. It's just flat and it just feels wet. And that is very much a problem. But shiny hair looks smooth, it looks reflective, it's got shine, it actually still has fullness. See, the goal is controlled light reflection, not oil. Does that make sense? This is exactly where something like K18 Molecular Repair Hair Oil is perfect. If you haven't used it before, it's great. It's lightweight, it smooths out your hair, adds kind of like the perfect amount of shine without weighing your hair down. it really helps the surface reflect light without flattening it, right? Or making it look like it's been coated by a bunch of oil. Again, just like anything else, I'll make sure to leave a link in the pinned comment in the description so that you can find it. It'll also be in the YouTube shopping that's right down here. So check it out. It's great, even for thin, fine hair. Just throw a very small amount in your hands, kind of work it through, and then apply it through mid-shaft to the ends before you blow dry it. Or even a little bit extra after you've styled it, just through the mid-shaft and the ends. Does a great job of adding that little bit of shine without being too heavy. So in this scenario, it's really not about just adding product for the sake of adding product. It's about restoring what the hair naturally loses over time to make it feel more youthful. So there it is. These are a few things that are absolutely aging your hair. And more importantly, there's some very simple things that you can easily address on a day-to-day basis. So I want to know which one of these was the most surprising to you. Did any of these stand out specifically, like I never would have thought about it, right? I'm very curious. Do me a favor and comment below and let me know. But otherwise, I appreciate you for hanging out. If you found this helpful, do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button. It's totally free. You can unsubscribe at any time. And if you really like this video, you're probably really going to like this one over here. So you should probably go check that out and I'll meet you over there. All right. Thanks so much for hanging out. Let's wait for the comments. Dude, I already know they are going to be, is that right there? That's an olive. The minute you say long hair, no layers. In nature, what is this? It's not moss, but it looks like moss. Okay. Anyway, I'm done with this.